think it was, and the guy won't, pin his ears back and going. That's poor coaching on my part. So a lot of things like that we can get better at, and guys obviously, JC was his second game, but he did go through fall camp, and it was a fall camp kind of day, right? I mean, it was 90 degrees in the heat, and so he'll get better and better, and all those guys continue to get better each week on certain things, and so now we got to. Again, as a team, we can't, one guy can't have a bad play here, and one guy here, one guy here. That's kind of what's happened. It's just one guy somewhere across the offense that has messed up, which has led to some inconsistency. But, we're averaging 48 points a game, and we're 2-0, and doing some good things offensively, capitalizing in certain areas, red zone, and doing some good things there. Short yardage has been positive. So we just got to keep building on those things, get better at the little details and the fundamentals.
You always talk about how communication is key, right? So how's that been so far? I mean, Josh Creech plays a big role in that.
Oh yeah, Josh plays a huge role in that. Communication is key. It's been better at certain things. I think it's better up front. We got to do a better job of communicating with tight ends, running backs. We had a miscue on one this week when Luke actually got hit. It was just a communication error. So there's things like that we got to improve on. Sure.
You mentioned the maturity to make those halftime adjustments. Is just a group that maybe you can challenge like that at halftime to maybe point out specific things that need to be fixed and they can get fixed?
Yeah, I think that's what that allows you to do. Is a lot of times that can be hard to come in. In your mind you're playing hard, and they didn't play hard, but they're playing hard, and things are you're frustrated. It's hot. Things are going well, and all of a sudden someone's telling you you're not good enough, right? Or that's not good enough. Or we got to change this or whatever. And there can be a sense of frustration there, and really there wasn't in the locker room. We knew what we kind of needed to do, and came in and approached it, and all you saw was a bunch of head nods and we'll get this fixed, and there was just some awareness there and some recognition of what needed to get done, and then they come out and after we got the break on the penalty, right, and went down and scored right away, and then really every time after that they had some momentum and rhythm, and they kind of knew they made some adjustments from the first half. They knew when they were going to do some things, and ended up finishing the game off really well. So that is maturity. It is growth, I guess. There, it's humility to an extent there, right? And it's coaching. It's experienced players. It's all guys coming together to get the win and beat a good football team. Duke's going to win a lot of games. They're a good football team, good defensive football team. They finished, which I was proud of them for that.
Bart, I'm not trying to make excuses, but did you think there might be some of those inconsistencies you were talking about in these first few weeks? Because I know JC's played a lot of football and Melvin's played a lot of football, but when you're not repping in preseason camp with all five of those in continuity, you would think that there would be a little bit of hiccups a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that you weren't trying to not be smart with JC and Melvin. You know what I'm saying, though? Like, you would have loved to have had them repping as much as in preseason camp, and that carries over.
Yeah, of course it does. And, I'm not building a soft bed by any extent, but Duke's one of the better defensive teams that will play from a schematic standpoint.
Right.
And I give a lot of credit to Coach Diaz and his staff, and those two DNs were really good players. And they did a lot of things to cause chaos and cause disruption. And when you get a guy like JC, who's a tremendous football player, a guy like Getsky, a tremendous football player, Josh, all the way across the board, right? And then all of a sudden, things, they find themselves in a situation they hadn't been in a while, right, or maybe ever, and for him to be able to adjust and then play the way they did in the second half, and that says a lot to their character, says a lot to their ability to take the adjustments, for our staff to be able to make the adjustments, and then they fought and finished, and it took it was a 1-point game at halftime to end up being a 26-point game at the end, right, and we played clean football. We didn't have a ton of MEs. We made some mistakes, and those are the things you can live with. You can say, okay, hey, we got to get better at this step. We got to get better at this fit, at this aiming point. If we were mis-IDing things and making all kinds of mental busts, that would be a big concern. So that's really been my focus now is to clean up some of the technique and some of the things that maybe got us beat physically at times, and obviously not put them in a position that happens.
And I wanted to add, maybe this gets missed by the layman a little bit, but there are runs sometimes that get fitted up to where it looks like at the line, hey, this might go for no gain or 1 yard, and you look up and it's 2nd and 7. That's a win for you guys, right? That's an absolute W.
Yeah, well, we want 4 yards. 4-yard gain is a great play,
Right.
So 3 times 4 is 12. We're going
Right.
to take that all the way down the field,
Right.
And there's things. That's the nature of football, right? There's times where it's blocked up, great, and we throw the ball.
Right.
And you're like, but there's also times when it's not, and they throw the ball, and it's like, oh, thank God he threw that.
Right.
That's just the nature of the game, right? And so that's why you look at it, and you look at just and that's why it's not like, hey, one position group failed here, one position group failed here. It's one guy here, right? And it might be, Brandon Henderson on one play, it might be Josh Kreutz on one play, it might be JC or Melvin on one play, and then next play 4 of the 5 are great, and one guy has penetration or whatever it is, and that costs, or maybe the back goes a little bit wide on something, or just one thing here and there. That's offensive football. We got together as an offense. We got to keep getting better and better, more consistent that way, so we're all on the same page. Like, do your 111th, right? And that's a big focal point, I think, as we move forward. As we have one more non-conference game against a quality opponent, and then after that, it's all conference. So that's a big point of emphasis as we move forward. Is chasing perfection, chasing those the high details of everything, the fundamentals, the scheme, right? Doing your job. And then obviously the things that are just kind of ingrained in our kids, the tough, smart, dependable, physicality, all that stuff is a given, or should be a given. And so every once in a while, there were some examples of guys I think got tired and got hot, and that goes back to camp, and guys we had multiple weeks where guys were out, and so I have confidence we'll get back into that, or they'll get those guys will pick it up, and we'll be good moving forward.